You have three potential mid laners there for Execration. Perhaps just a puck off lane here for this
Hmm.
Radiant side, as the mag should really be mid. That is an old special of Execration from back in the day. They used to love
Yeah,
running the puck.
yeah. It's something they always picked up, whether it was mid or off. Execration, it's an interesting spot. There are a few ways to configure this matchup. They could still have the Earth Spirit Oracle duo supports puck off mag mid, or those two supports plus puck mid mag safe. Save their last pick for off last, but that doesn't seem likely. And they could also have the wild card of Earth Spirit mid, Magnus safe, puck off. You could still do that. I don't
Yeah.
know if you'd want to, but you've got that option. It's a strange one to leave for your last pick, to leaving that support pause for. So Execration's probably just looking for an off lane or a safe lane. I think that's the safe bet, one of those two. And Magnus can flex either way. Motivate.Trust. The puck does make it a bit trickier because now they've got excellent reach. I mean, Puck, Earth Spirit, Magnus, all of these heroes can jump in at a good point, pull people back, punish the clump up. They all work really well with the RP. So Execration's really building off that team fight now. Motivate.Trust. They're thinking hard about this one.
Well, they go for the Ricky. Interesting pickups. That should be the position one here for Motivate.Trust. So I believe we saw this yesterday. Can't remember the exact result of the Ricky pickup, but it is a very potent position one to have. Obviously, if it gets off to the right start, John, very hard to slow down.
Hmm.
Works well in combination with the Tiny Storm Spirit as well, because you just want to be able to close the gap and fight with these three heroes on Motivate.Trust. So I do like seeing the Ricky pop up.
Yeah, that keeps up with that aggression. You've got a justifiable reason to perhaps go Ags Ricky, so you can go for the Pocket Ricky if you want to go around with your Storm down the line. I wouldn't say that's a first item pickup, but maybe a fifth item would work out here. Works well with Winter Wyvern. So the counter initiation for Motivate.Trust is looking great. You get the Winter's Curse off, you get the smoke screen on top. Afterwards, you can clean up quite nicely. There is that workaround here for Motivate.Trust. I think Execration do have to be a bit cautious. They are much more held down by cooldowns, especially RP. That's the big one they're going to be encircling around. That's their entire playstyle will probably tie into that as the game goes on. But they've got to kind of work it. They've got to play around a timer perfectly. We've still got to see what they combine with the Magnus. Options are limited. Troll has been banned out in the last phase, so you're not going to have that. They could have picked it up earlier, but they prioritized the Earth Spirit Puck.
Okay. It is looking a bit dangerous in that sense, right? Because you would have probably
Mm.
really enjoyed that troll, apart from the fact that the Wyvern was already there, which may have been why they decided not to go for the troll warlord. But what else do you want to go for now? If you are Execration,
Hmm.
well, before that, we're
You,
gonna have to wait for Motivate.Trust anyway. I suppose we'll see what their final pickup is. They are
yeah,
lacking an offlane hero.
it's a tricky one to pick up. You don't know your matchup, so it's not 100%. Did you go with the DK though?
Okay.
DK off. It's been a while, but it's a very solid here to have. Very tanky. I love the timings here. Right, you hit 6 in the DK. You're gonna be melting these towers, running up. Not a very farm heavy core, so you can give a lot of space up to the Storm and the Ricky. Perfectly fine. Just needs the EXP. Execration, they've got a few options. Juggernaut is one, although you'll be held down by Omni Slash. Storm is a pretty okay one. No, not Storm. Sven. I was thinking of Stormhammer. Sven is the big one that you could go for as well. It's a bit redundant with Magnus Empower, but RP into that stun. With the cleave you naturally have, it's outstanding damage.
Yep.
Something Execration could run if they wanted to.
Absolutely. Execration. We'll see if they do want to pick it up now. Love me some Sven John. Think it's an absolutely broken position one right now with that Aghanim's upgrade.
Mm.
We haven't seen it much throughout this BTS Pro Series in the group stage quite yet. And no, they'll go for
Oh.
the Slark pickup. Interesting.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. Into the Ricky, it should be fine. Into the Storm as well. You can kind of play around the Dark Pact here. I guess Empower on the Ricky's all right too, so it's not too shabby. Oracle can really prolong that Slark's life a heck lot more, just really pumping out that longevity. Execration, they've got a bit of an uphill battle. I'd say Motivate.Trust's timings are a bit earlier. They've got the DK. It's actually Fearless in the DK, all right. Matsuros on the Storm Spirit. So we'll see how that unfolds. You just need to hit 6 in the DK. You start melting those towers, apply that pressure. For Execration's part, I want to see BDZ put some work in. Really apply the pressure with your Spirit. Start shutting down the map, make it very difficult for the Storm Spirit and the Ricky to find that farm. And you can really start to build up on your own end here for Execration.
Certainly could. See how it all does pan out. This is the final game of the night, and hopefully it's a good one. Judging by these drafts, it should be pretty entertaining between these two. Curious to see if this Magnus Slark is going to be able to pull through for Execration. Otherwise, Jackie on the Ricky might just get out of control there with Masaros on the Storm. Didn't even realize that. Offlane Storm.
Yeah. It's
a
an
new
interesting one. I wonder if it is an offlane Storm if they're just swapping their roles around. I mean, we've seen teams do both. So I'm just holding off until I actually see them walk down, because I think we've seen the offlane Storm once, right? Like, I do recall a match where that happened. It wasn't too bad. It's a very, very strange thing to watch, though. And up against a Slark, that doesn't sound like a very easy time, but it's something you can also work around. You can kind of punish every single Dark Pack. You can just go up in the wave, clear it out with your static remnant. So there are ways of dancing around that for Motivate.Trust. We'll see exactly what they've got in mind. We're going to find out soon.
Absolutely. Get into it. Motivate.Trust, they'd love to leave today with a 2-0 victory over Execration. Be a very nice debut for themselves in the BTS Pro Series Season 3. Of course, Execration don't want to allow that to happen. At the very minimum, want to get out with a draw if they can.
Oh, yeah. And looking at Motivate.Trust, Mike, it is the offlane Storm. It is the mid DK. So,
wow.
Yeah, we're gonna reminisce and see how Masaros performs. He had a wonderful time on the NP, made a lot of space. Storm is not as selfless. We'll see if he can hit his item beats, his timings. It's gonna be important to Storm, regardless of your lane, to find that level 6, to find the early build-up into your Kaya or your Ults and just run around, or even the Orchid, run around and start hammering in on the heroes.
Boombill needs to be a bit cautious with his positioning. He's trying to suss out if there's a ward in that mid lane, but it might cost him his life, as there is a lot of heroes there from Execration, but nobody's going to be able to initiate. They've got to hold out, maybe waiting for a better target. Q going to run up to the high ground. Again, nobody in position to go for this. They actually back off Execration. They go back towards their respective lanes. Not interested in that early team fight.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. They do have a lot of good level 1 BDZ.
He's going to take a bit of damage there.
Yeah, he grabbed the bounty, though, away from Q. So that's a 3-for-1 trade. Execration actually stepping up ahead there. Just a little bit more gold being injected. Going to be a good time to have there. Of course, looking up top, Palos is on the off lane. So if they're reversing the carry position here, RR is up with him as well on the Oracle. They're going to be laning against Masaros. They actually dragged that Storm all the way up top. Q's around here as well. Early tri-lane from Execration to try and find that first blood fast. And a Storm at level 1, that's a very easy target to go for.
It certainly is. They just got to land the stun, but look at Q. He's sneaking up behind the Oracle, tossing him back into Masaros, and RR is going to cop a lot of damage. BDZ forced to roll in a bit preemptively to try and make sure that they don't feed the first blood. Does get a fair bit of damage off onto Masaros, but that was a very, very cheeky drive-by play out from Q.
Oh yeah, just coming in from behind, getting the control off.
Another roll in,
There's
Masaros. I guess he must have assumed that RR had left the building, but that was not the case.
And you saw the beautiful combination, the Fortune's End channel, mid-roll, perfect timing once that roll was in, just the damage. There it goes again.
Yeah, they'll just keep going. Q, he tried to dish some damage out to Palos. They might get a kill here. No, Masaros, he can't finish the kill off. And they'll just salve Palos up, and he's already got 2 permanent agility for himself.
You'd love to see it if you're a Slark. Having those early kills up. Not a good time for Motivate.Trust, and they're going.
Again?
Yeah, they miss out this time, unfortunately, but you can see the threat from Execration here. They're just going to try to shut that Storm. We talked about it from draft, but Storm, no matter the lane, needs to hit those timings, and it doesn't look like Masaros is going to have a smooth start up to that, because they're keeping it up. They're actually going to drag another hero up. 6 heroes up top.
Love to see it. Roll in, not going to connect on Masaros, and RR will be the one to go down, but BDZ commits the boulder smash. Q looking for a bit more onto Palos. Doesn't have the toss. I'll just leave it at that. But we are officially in a tri-lane versus tri-lane situation now.
Yeah, I mean, RR is actually walking his way back top, so 6 heroes up top. It's an interesting one. I think this hurts Masaros a lot more because he's a Storm. Like, you could argue the supports of Execration want the levels as well, but a Storm that doesn't hit 6 fast is going to be in a world of hurt. So I'd say Execration are perfectly happy with this trade. Gives us an opportunity to talk about the other lanes. Mid lane, Magnus, Carl up against Fearless in the DK. It's going relatively well for Carl. Like, he's finding the farm, he's clearing out these waves. You can't threaten off Fearless, but you can drag him back like that.
That's a great skewer back from Carl. Fearless going to eat a Fairy Fire, but needs to be a bit cautious about how much more damage he does take. Eventually does get a salve off by his tier 1, so he'll be fine. Carl won't bother for the shockwave cancellation of the salve, as it's a DK. He'll heal up anyway. It's not worth the mana. But he's going to be enjoying himself with that farming game on this Magnus, and because you're always going to have the advantage up against the DK, considering you have the inbuilt power.
Oh yeah, you're just going to be able to clear those waves out. Fearless, he can kind of mitigate that by landing the Breed Fire. Looks like the priority is just farm.
Oh, Palos top lane. Going down to Masaros. That's not what you want to start doing, right? You don't want to start feeding kills the way of this Storm. You already had a pretty bad start, but he can catch up fairly quick.
Yeah, he definitely can. He's up there in last hits. He's having a better time clearing out these creeps than you're seeing Palos. So in that sense, Masaros is already just a bit ahead.
BDZ messing up there. Didn't go for the kick quick enough, and Fearless got the Dragon Tail off. Still skewer back. They can't cancel it. TP will be successful. He just TP'd back to his tier 1 tower, so Fearless not going anywhere. Continue trying to secure his own farm and secure his own levels.
Yeah, that's all the DK wants, a smooth ramp to 6. Carl, for Execration's end, they should start stacking up the jungle a bit to get some movement up for him down the line. Looking at the lane we haven't talked about yet, the bot lane. Of course, you've got Boombell back here in the Winter Wyvern, Jackie up against Raging Potatoes Puck, and Jackie's just running away. 27 to 11, lots of denies, slowing down the progression of that Puck and Raging Potato 23 to 3, so they're not slowing down to Ricky. This is a worrying sign. Like, if he gets a good start, the Fusel comes out, he can start melting some of these heroes down.
Carl is very low in that mid lane right now. Fearless. Some damage off. Top lane, Masaros. Fortune's End going to fly out, getting the root off, and BDZ going for a very easy roll on the Earth Spirit. They will try and turn around here onto Palos, but he is going to be safe. They will give him a tango and give him the lane once again. Masaros, second death of the game, just having a very difficult time.
Yeah, it's that pressure Execration's maintaining up top. Palos does have 3 permanent Agi stacks now, so again, very happy as the Slark. Level 5, slight EXP advantage there. Masaros is a full level behind. Have to watch that spacing. Q is going to try to go for a cheeky play again.
He is. Avalanche out. Palos will be alright. He'll pounce in time. So far, so good for Execration. Skewer from Carl, just to be able to close the gap and get that regen rune. Carl is at that 6 mark now, but hasn't bothered for the point in the RP yet. He's just holding onto a skill point in top lane. Q ends up killing off RR, but now Palos wants to keep going with the follow-up roll there from BDZ, and Masaros once again gonna die, and Palos, he is not done, but perhaps he has to back off. Does have some 1 charges available, so he could try and bait them back in, but he's going to make it so BDZ dies with the Splinter Blast. Now the Avalanche is out from Q. Palos will finally back off. See how long that lasts, as we do have our Oracle back up top, so you never know when they're going to get started again.
It's perfect timing for Palos, though. He hits his level 6 mark, so he's got the Shadow Dance, can just pull back into the fog, regen back to full, and try to make some more moves. MG.Trust, I think it's time for Masaros to switch lanes. He is going away. He's going into the jungle. Just going to have to find that farm elsewhere, because it's just not safe. He's fed too many kills. 1 to 3 on the Storm. Not a very smooth start for him. Just a constant struggle in that top lane.
You know who has been having a smooth start, though? Jackie on the Ricky has basically been free farming this whole time. Sitting at 3.3k HP, over 50 last hits. He's got the Wraith Bands going straight for the Diffusal Blade up next, and that is not going to take him very long if this keeps up. They might just be banking on that. Just banking on the fact that Ricky Diffusal is completely broken. And it may just be enough to bring him back into this game. In fact, Q gets an Avalanche Toss onto RR, kills him off. Still a great kickback onto Fearless, breaking the Dream Coil, and they will get the DK. A 1-for-1, but the DK being much more valuable. Execration, good rotation out. Now Jackie, however, TP's mid, doesn't get the DD rune, but might get the kill anyway onto BDZ, who's going to try and roll, but it is blocked off, and Jackie does pick himself up the first kill for himself in this game.
Yeah, it's a really good one to pick up onto Ricky. Again, it helps accelerate his farm towards the Diffusal. It's still a ways off, but with that free farm down bot, and this is going to be one of the things that MG.Trust can really bounce back on. Just that solid build-up they're finding on the Ricky. There's been no rotations from Execration to punish that, which is surprising. It's a Ricky. It's not exactly hard to kill, and it's at the point where it can just clear out. They are trying to go for a push up top. Palos is getting the damage in. He's got the Empower on. That's a lot of damage already in the tier 1 top.
Skewer, you have that RP available. They may not need it though. Palos got the pounce, but Boombell with that Arctic Burn still flying over the tree line, and well, it turns out they did need the RP for that kill. Carl, not wanting to commit it, would rather just try and save it for that tier 1 tower push.
Yeah, it's a missed opportunity. At the same time, they're holding off. They want to have that tool available in case MG.Trust does come for the defense. Where Pink's coming out though.
Mid lane, they saw Masaros go for the kick. It is not far enough, but it won't matter. He just can't zip out of there, and Raging Potato does pick up a kill on the park, and now top lane. They are still going after Boombell. It's going to be a cold embrace, but that's going to give Palos even more stacks of Essence Shift as he does get another kill.
Yeah, it's 5 stacks up now in Palos permanently. He managed to take that tier 1 top. They're really punishing the Storm. Masaros has not had a good time. He's down there in net worth. It's just not great.
They do at least end up killing off BDZ. So Jackie being involved in that kill, and it does seem to be just about trying to get that Diffusal Blade first on Jackie. Like, they seem to be very, very passive up until that point. Judging by how he's going, it should only be maybe 4 or 5 minutes before we do have it up. Maybe even less than that.
Yeah, it's going to be, again, a big jumping point for MG.Trust once that's up. They have to sort of be aware of the timing of that, though. That's going to align with Carl's timing on the Echo Saber. And the Magnus with the Echo Saber just has a lot more damage that flies out. You've also got the Drums up in Palos, so they've got ways to actually dance around here. Have to be just a bit cautious of when they actually do jump the gun. We haven't seen progress on towers from MG.Trust. They did take that bot tier 1. They haven't really managed to chip away at the mid. And that's the lane you expect the tower to really melt at. I mean, it was a DK lane. They got it down to half, but haven't made progress in the downtime. While that mid tower stands, Execration, they feel safe to just farm in the jungle.
fam. Or excuse me, rather, Carl. Hasn't changed his tag yet there. He's gonna go mid now. Looking for Jackie. He does have the RP, and of course with an Invis rune, it isn't too hard to land it. But Jackie is gonna walk out of range. Just continue safely farming up. Carl has... You'd like to see him commit that RP a bit more freely, I feel like. He's been very passive with it. He's holding on for the right moment. But you'd rather just get it out if you can.
I mean, that's a preferable play. You know, you see an opportunity, you drop it, you find a kill, you go back to farming. But looks like Execration, after game 1, they're just a lot more patient. You know, they don't want to risk too much. They want to have that tool in hand when they actually need it. It is 7-7. Very close match. Less than 1k lead for Execration. They are up there. Like, Palos is having a fantastic time. And Carl's not too far behind. There's an Echo Saber. There's that Echo Saber up on our mag, so his damage can really fly up if they find that opportunity. But again, for now, they're satisfied. There is a smoke, though. They want to make something happen with the Echo.
Asaros. Zip away. Carl still having a look, but can't break the gap. He doesn't have anything like a blink yet, so instead they're going to Dream Coil up this Winter Wyvern, and that should be a very easy kill, but there's a lot of TPs coming in here from MG.Trust. They want to take the fight, but it looks like they might not have a real good option to get into this fight. There are quite a few heroes here from Execration, so it wouldn't necessarily be recommended.
No, really risky, although down mid.
BDZ. Get jumped by Jackie. Another kill over to that Ricky. And, well, if they can catch him out, he's been silenced on the mags. Carl could not get the RP off. Still could potentially use it on Masaros, but no, he wants the Ricky, and he will get Jackie. Now, Masaros will at least be able to trade with RR. Going back in after Carl, but that is a lot of damage coming out from Palos with the Empower on the Slark. Getting a double kill, and now onto the DK. And that is Fearless probably dead here as they have full control. Another pounce available, but Palos, no, he doesn't want to dive the tier 2 tower. He'll leave it at that.
Yeah, really big pickoffs coming out here for Execration. Keeping Masaros down, punishing Jackie for stepping out a bit. And that's Lark. The defusal is up and running, although.
They do throw the curse out to set up here onto Palos, but nobody was there. Jackie, however, does now have that defusal blade up, so immediately going after the Slark, but no, he was Dark Pacting. Now with the false promise, Palos going to try and fight back up against Jackie, but he might still die to the damage he did take, and he does. There was no heals coming in from that Oracle. He did not have the Fate's Edict at the time, so BDZ now going to go down, and that's just a bit of a blunder out from Palos.
A major mistake there, just not being able to really maximize that false promise. I believe RR was focused on dishing damage out with Purifying Flames, trying to look for the counter kill, costs them their Slark's life, and MG.Trust, and they took heavy losses to find those kills. They're going to be happy with that, at least finding its Slark in the end there, just getting the punishment on Palos. There's still a lot to go, though. It's still a slight lead for Execration. It was at 2k, now about 1k. Not a big lead. But the only real farm here right now in MG.Trust is Jackie. Like, you're still struggling to find the farm you want in Fearless. You're struggling to find the farm you want in Masaros. And they do ping out Jackie as well.
Jackie is going to be able to blink out. However, the dust did connect, and BDZ is there with the slow. Jackie tricks to the trade. Fearless also going to jump in, but that allows an easy dream call out for Raging Potato. Jackie is going to go down now on the Ricky. They've caught another. It's going to be the Winter Wyvern by Boombill. Being taken out with Fearless on the DK. In Execration, it does start to feel like they are in full control of this game now. They have a 3k net worth lead, and it's just going to be very hard to slow them down, considering Carl does have the Blink Dagger now coming out on the mag.
Yeah, and I love the timing of that smoke right after those kills to get this Blink revealed. They're not going to be able to find anything. Carl does break his own smoke, but they're still going here. They might find Masaros.
They may. He does get silenced. Masaros just having such a tough game. He had to go naked brown boots and Orchid. That's how bad of a game he's having on the Storm. He does have the Orchid now up at least.
It's not a pretty look though. It's so far behind. He is below. Oh,
That's an interesting position to try and farm in. Q, Avalanche Toss is going to be out, but they are going to get this Winter Wyvern. Now Carl finding another. It's Fearless. He does skewer him back, gets the RP. Not quite catching out Q, but they got the main target anyway. In fact, Masaros going to come in to try and go for a bit of a team fight here, jumping onto BDZ. He does get one. They want to go after Carl, but I don't believe they'll have the mana pool on Masaros to really make it all the way. He does actually get there, but Carl, oh no, he's skewered onto the low ground. He wanted to get onto the high ground, but he will not get there, and now Raging drops the Dream Coil, but it will be too late. Motivate do get away with a couple free kills.
yeah, they're gonna be very pleased with that outcome. Is finding the punishment onto Carl, and Carl, well, that's not a fantastic way to die. You know, Edge of Skewer ends up in the low ground. You know, you're not gonna be pleased, but they still maintain a 5k lead. Motivate.Trust still needs a heck lot more to catch up. Masaros is the big issue, right? Like you could kind of excuse a DK because Fearless does have the blink. That's all you need in the DK. And BKB would be nice on top of it, but you blink stun, you're good to go. Masaros, though, Orchid is a touch up, but he needs more sustain on him. He needs to be able to zip around, and they're just not finding that yet.
Palos. Me on to Jackie. Jackie in a bit of danger here, has been dusted up, and they have so much control for him. Gonna be another great kill, and this is not what you wanted as this Ricky. Such a great start in terms of the laning stage, and well, now it's just kind of falling apart.
Yeah, it's the progress has stalled out since that defusal. He's got the Yasha, but he needs the Manta up ASAP.
Oh, Masaros just can't catch a break. So many silences to just hold him down. They'll get Raging at least as a trade. And Fearless, he's going to pop the DK form. Going with the stun onto the Oracle, but how do you deal with Palos? You can't. Slark is just way too strong right now.
No, he really is. And Palos, you know, he's got 13 permanent agi stacks already. So even when these fights break out, he's got a lot more to play with. He's going to have his Silver Edge really soon. So the durability you're seeing from the DK, he's not going to be that durable for long, Mike. Silver Edge is going to break right through that armor.
It is. It's going to be very, very problematic. I mean, it's not like he's durable right now anyway. It's been pretty tough for him. It's about to get a hell of a lot worse. MG.Trust, though, they're going to try and get something done here. Carl does have the Blink RP ready to go. That may dissuade Motivate.Trust if they did spot it out. Seems like they may not have, but now they should see it. Carl is going to allow Raging Potato to get jumped here, but he's going to try and phase shift away. They go onto the Oracle, trying to kill him off, and RR is down, so no false promise. Carl, he cannot RP in that, well, it doesn't matter, because he'll get him anyway. The smoke screen was blocking him out. Now Masaros going to try and zip out, but BDZ is on the chase with the roll forward. Is not going to connect, but gets the silence. There's no mana anyway on Masaros. He's gone. Another double for Palos.
Oh, man. Like, now that you're off to this rolling start with Execration, they've got all the tools they want. They've got the 7k lead.
Fearless is caught out. Q gonna jump in with a nice avalanche toss, killing off the puck. That'll be enough. Carl can't finish the job by himself, but here comes Palos back onto Q. But Boombell is gonna be around the corner there on the Wyvern. They don't want to risk anything right now. They're still holding a nice 6k net worth lead, and they do not want to throw it away.
Yeah, just playing safe, picking their fights well, dancing around MG.Trust, although.
Q, great avalanche toss, but the Shadow Dance is out from Palos. He still has so much Essence Shift being stolen. Meanwhile, Smokescreen in the back onto RR, but the Glimmer Cape going to keep him alive. BDZ now rolling in with a Magnetize out. Palos in danger. He needs some help. He's not going to get it. In fact, Winter's Curse is also out onto BDZ. Suddenly, Jackie gets a double.
Ooh, That's overstaying your welcome there for Palos. Just way too far forward. Walks the wrong way when he had a retreat path as well. So he pays for his life. Really big pickup there for MG.Trust. And that sets them off to the right direction. A bit of a bounce back for Jackie, but they still need a little bit more to come out. There's still a 5k deficit to work against. Execration, they just need to wait a bit more. They're going to have a BKB on Carl soon. It's just about 200 gold off. And once you've got that, that smoke screen's not going to stop that RP.
We'll have it up very soon. In fact, there it is. Masaros. So slowly just trying to catch himself up. Funny thing is with the Storm Spirit is if the game goes on long enough, regardless of how bad of a start he's had, he's going to become a powerhouse.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I don't think they want to deal with him in the Super Late game because it is still a Storm.
No. Oh, for sure. Like, if he gets to the point where he can farm an Ags, right? We've seen that be such a game changer. Like the mini black hole for control, very low cooldown as well, very low committal, and just all the control you could ask for. You do not want to see that happen. Execration, they're going to play their cards right. They've smoked up with this BKB on Carl. They're going to try to maximize that item.
They are. Little did they know the enemy was right next door. But they miss out for now. Ping's finally coming out. Carl always going to run straight into them. Smoke broken. The RP not going to be there in time. They blink away, but he does get the skewer back onto Fearless. This DK with this curse is going to buy time. They'll lose Boombill. Now the smoke screen out onto RR. Trying to get rid of the Oracle, but the RP is out from Carl. He found Masaros, and he's also going to find Jackie. And they got to run. Fearless getting skewered away by Carl. Really has no way out of this, surely. Will get used up. And they have the control. Palos with the silver edge. Making easy work of it. Q the only one to get out in time, but BDZ thinking about trying to chase. Probably is too late.
Yeah, they do manage to secure the bot tier 1. They're going to go for that bot tier 2 next. MG.Trust in a very awkward position. They're not online enough on every one of these heroes. They're just so far behind. Masaros is stalled out. Jackie has the Manta. But that's just not enough. That's just not cutting it anymore. He needs a Nullifier on top of that. Maybe even a Basher Abyssal. You don't have enough farm to build up to that point when you're 11k behind. Execration looking a lot better here in game number 2. Just getting their lineup to work. This is the kind of draft we expect from them, and they're playing it a lot better than those other drafts they ran last time.
I'll tell you, he's had the same problem every team fight our Ricky has. Jackie, he's blinking in onto Oracle, but never has the dust. Now he does, and that may be the answer he's been looking for, but it's just been very tough for him to finish off RR before the team fight starts. See if he can get it done the next time around. They'll take the outpost over on Execration now, and it looks like they are looking towards that top tier 2 tower. And Carl's going to make pretty short work of it. Not going to be too big of an issue for him on the mag. They will not be able to get a trade on Motivate.Trust. They do spot out Raging Potato, who is very, very deep. He's going to try and orb away. Still zip in from Masaros. Does get the Vortex, and Raging is going to go down in a very, very deep position.
Some sweet punishment coming out from Motivate.Trust. Just, you'll take what you can get. Gives them a nice injection of gold, and they smoke up. They've got the numbers.
Q, gonna get the Avalanche toss off onto BDZ. Now Jackie with a great smoke screen, but the BKB and the RP onto Masaros, onto Jackie, and now onto another. It's gonna be Q on the Tiny. There's a dream call out from Raging as well. He did come back into this team fight with a buyback, and they do get Boombill. Now Fearless forced to pop his own BKB, but it is not looking great for him. They do at least kill off BDZ, but Q is gonna lose his life on the Tiny. That is going to extend the net worth lead even higher, sitting at 14k right now. Make it 15. In Execration, they still control this whole map. It is just very, very tough for Motivate.Trust.
Oh, it definitely is. Like, they look like they've got the numbers advantage. They jump in, the initiation's wonky. They never get off the Winter's Curse. There's no buyback here in the Winter Wyvern, so you're not going to see that for the Rax defense. Execration, one set of Rax for free. Are they going to look for more? They could go for the Roche. It's been left untouched for a long time.
With the mid-racks, they could definitely go for that kind of Roshan play now, it seems. And they're going to slowly head over there, just getting some D-wards out on the way. They're going to just farm up a bit more. No real rush from this Execration side. Of course, they must realize how far ahead they are, but they don't really even feel the need to rush for the Aegis.
Nah.
Maybe even just wait out the RP to be back up for Carl.
Yeah, I mean, they've got this game on the driver's seat. They've got the AC up as well on Carl, so he's super tanky. They've got so much damage flying out. Motivate.Trust. They've got a lot of work to do here if they want to close this gap out. One Rax down. If you look at that network graph, Mike, it's not looking pretty, and there's that Roche now.
That net worth graph is not pretty for Motivate.Trust, but definitely very, very pretty to Execration. Oh, with that Roshan, it's going to be a lot harder, although Jackie does end up killing off Raging Potato again. Just down at the bot lane by himself, they take advantage of an easy kill, and that was actually a dieback on the puck. Now BDZ rolling in, getting cursed up, so that's BDZ gone. This is the time to retreat for Execration, but the Avalanche toss is there on Palos, but he does get the Shadow Dance off in time. Turning around onto Masaros, but he's running out of time. He does get the false promise, and now the RP is there from Carl. Once again to save the day. Fearless looking set to drop on the DK, and does. And now it's on to Jackie on the Ricky, but he's also gone. Q, well, he gets the Aegis, but what does that mean when you're about to lose your own life? Not really much. Carl will take a triple kill out for this Magnus. Regardless of the dieback on the puck, regardless of the death on PDC, as long as Palos and Carl are alive, apparently they can just 3v5.
That they can. They've got the damage. You know, it's a Magnus, it's a Slark, they've got the AoE to deal with everyone. And it's into the high ground. They may not have a second life, but do you really need it when you're 22k ahead? Execration doesn't seem to think so.
Dota Plus doesn't really think so either, John. Sitting at 99%. Now, things are looking very, very good for Execration to be able to tie out this series 1-1. Masaros going to try and buy his team time, but he's really doing no forms of damage on this Storm. Still just trying to work towards the BKB. It's just been a very, very tough time for him. They are just lacking. Things just did not go right.
No, they took a gamble with a safe lane Storm. You know, they did it to give space to Jackie, so he would have a good time, get carried off the wave of that Ricky. That's just not what's happening. It just fell apart there, and 36-23, 25k lead, a jungle being invaded, not a safe spot to be in here.
They're going to try it, jumping onto RR, but he has a Ghost Scepter up now, and there's going to be a great Dream Call out from Raging Potato. That's Masaros gone. It's probably a Ricky gone as well. He just can't get away. Palos just full control with the pounce, and now BDZ going to catch out our Wyvern. That'll be Boombill gone. Another triple kill out. There's your buyback from Jackie. They're going to try one more time, as Raging Potato does die again, as is tradition.
Yeah, he dove way deep without his teammates onto the tiny butt.
Fearless. BK beat up. It just doesn't matter when a Slark's hitting you. Q going to go in with an Avalanche toss, which is going to be decent. They'll use the tricks of the trade, but Carl, he's looking for an RP attempt. Waiting. Won't use it onto Jackie by himself. He wants the big one. Fearless again, though. Going to be jumped on by Palos with that silver edge, just blows him up, and now with the Shadow Dance going after Q, he has got 40 stacks of Essence Shift right now.
God.
This is not safe to fight into for Motivate.Trust. Jackie's gone now, a triple for this Slark. Could be an Ultra very soon as Masaros is getting low, but will zip away. Make that 45, John. Currently 300 Agi on this Slark.
45 plus 31 permanent, and probably the highest stacks of permanent Agi we've seen in a very long time still.
He's making a climb. Palos.
Masaros?
Yeah, Masaros, I'm not sure what he's up to, but he's dead. Winter's Curse is there onto Palos, but BDZ gonna roll in on the Wyvern. Boombill gets cleaned up. Q the only one left, but they'll call the GG prior to him going down, and he is certainly going down anyway. And that's the kind of performance we're kind of expecting from Execration.
Yeah, they bring the fight to Motivate.Trust. At Trust, for their part, it was such a strange draft. Safe lane, Storm, doesn't pay off. They were banking on Jackie to really carry them through from a very free lane. Doesn't work out, and Execration just run away. So great showing from Execration drawing out the series. That does put them in the middle of the pack now, but Motivate.Trust not too bad of a first showing here. A drawn series is a pretty good base to start on. Would have been nice to get 2 wins, but you're kind of hedging your bets there in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely not a bad way to start for either side. And well, that'll be it for today, John. We've got another day tomorrow, of course, coming up with another great set of games, some very exciting ones. In fact,
Oh yeah.
one of the most exciting ones probably is TNC versus Fnatic. But most of them, honestly, are pretty darn good to watch. I'm sure we've got a hell of a day ahead of us tomorrow. But that does mean we have to head off for tonight, John. Obviously, we need to hit the bed, get some sleep, and wake up for some more casting tomorrow. It's been a pleasure, sir. It's been a pleasure casting for you all. It is MLP Dota and JohnXFire, and we'll see you all again tomorrow evening.